Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates, Season 2, Episode 11. So, we start off the episode with Eva meeting up with Isaiah at what's this place called? Uptowns? Yeah, she meets him at Uptowns, and she basically comes in complaining about her bitch of a sister and how she just don't child. When it comes to Eva, I can't even get into the story, but when it comes to Eva, it's the fact that she's always acting like the victim that irritates me and takes me out of her story. So in this conversation, she is complaining about the fact that she she's tired of coming to trying to like have a sisterly bond with Kat, and how Kat's always this and that and X, Y, and Z. And Isaiah is just like, well, yeah, she deserved all the smoke that you gave her and all this other stuff. And then also he says, well, because she mentions how she went looking for Kat, and it was just like, did you really go looking for her, or did you just happen upon her? Because from my recollection, you were there getting whatever, and you seen Kat, and then you interrupted her talking to her niece. That's not you looking going to look for her, but whatever. So she tells him that she did it because of Ted, and he was just like, Ted should have known that Kat wouldn't want, like, he should have known how Kat would react, because everybody knows how Kat would react to Eva. Even Isaiah knows this. Yet Eva act like she don't know how Kat's gonna react when Kat has always reacted that way towards you. So why even would you go to her just to appease your dad? No, you shouldn't have. That's your fault. I'm sorry. It's your fault. You should have left that girl alone. You know how she feels about you, and she still has valid reasons to feel that way about you, because you have yet to apologize to her for sleeping with her boyfriend. You haven't even apologized to her for breaking up her family. Like, the fact that Eva continues to play the victim is annoying, because even in this conversation, she was talking about, oh, she's a naive fool for even trying with her, and now she's done trying, and X, Y, and Z. And it's like, again, like I said before, you knew who Kat was to you when you walked your happy behind into her mother's office. You knew who Kat was to you, and you didn't even try to make a relationship with her. You were very what is it? You were very like, you were gleeful in the fact that she was calling you out and her parents weren't listening to her. You were gleeful in that fact. You were gleeful that her parents were taking your side in everything and not hers. You didn't try to be like, you know what, I see she's sort of onto me. Let me dial it back and try to build some type of relationship with her. No, the first conversation that y'all had when she caught you snooping through her mama's things and she checked you for it, from that moment on, you were her adversary, and you played into being her adversary. You didn't play into, okay, she sees me as an adversary. Let me try to change her mind about me because we are sisters. And eventually, when everything comes out, hey, I've always wanted a sister. Now that I know that I do have a sister, let me act like a sister to her. But no, you didn't do that. Instead, you went after her man, even when your mama, who's always going after married people or people who are attached to somebody else, when she even told you to leave him alone, you still went after him. And then she changed her mind and said, go ahead and go after him after the fact. But initially, your mama told you, keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is Ted. It was never Tomas. She told you to stay away from him. And you went out of your way to build a relationship, a connection to Tomas, when you should have been trying to build a relationship and a connection to your sister. And now it's woe is me, and um she doesn't want to be my sister, and I don't all this other stuff. No, that's not how it works. You set that standard because you knew who she was. She didn't know who you were. All when she first saw you, all she saw was a girl going through my mama's things, and she tacky. That's what Kat seen when she first saw you, because she all but called you tacky. That's all she saw. When you first saw her, you saw, that's my sister, and she has everything that I should have had. That's how you saw her, which is why you treated her like that, because you were jealous of the fact that she had everything that you thought you should have had. And she grew up the way that you thought you should have grown up. And guess what? That's all your mama's fault, because you could have grown up with Kat as a sister. You could have grown up with all the things that Kat had your mama told your daddy that he had another child. But no, your mom said that she had the to let you go, and so he didn't know that she actually kept you. So that's all on your mom, but you're taking it out on Kat as if Kat were the one who is the one who made it so that you couldn't have a relationship with your dad. It's not Kat's fault. It's not Ted's fault. It's your mom's fault. But you give your mom a pass. And then you keep going to Kat knowing how she feels about you because of all the things that you did and all the things that she knows about you, knowing the fact that you know what your mom did to Laura and you are still covering for your mama. Kat knows all of that. So of course you know Kat isn't going to fool with you, but you keep trying to make it seem like it's Kat's fault and Kat is the problem, when no, you're the problem. You have always been the problem. And you mad that Kat is calling you on your shit. Sorry, I just went off on a rant. My bad. So, anyways, so he gives her a pep talk. He tells her to focus on the people that care about her and see the good in her. And she mentions Martin and his family, and he was just like, and also people who aren't blood, they can be your chosen family, and they kiss. So then we go to Kat, and she comes home and she's complaining about Eva, how she had the nerve to come and talk to her about her family business, and she needs to stay out of her family business and all this other stuff. And Chelsea's just sitting there listening to her, and then she was just like, what? Well, what are you gonna say? And Chelsea was just like, I got my test results and they're negative. So they're excited, they're happy, they hug, all this other stuff. So Chelsea calls Naomi, and Naomi tells her, we're at the club, come celebrate. She makes it seem like she got her results and she's negative. Also, so Chelsea is happy about that. And Danny comes over because Chelsea had told Danny, and Danny is excited. She let Chelsea know that she told the grandparents because she was at her parents' house right before, once she got the results. And so they were worried about Anita, and she was just like, she was tired, but she was excited when she found out about the results. I texted your mom, and she was telling this to Kat, and Danny was just like, I'm just, the only thing that would make me feel better is once I find out that Naomi is okay. And Chelsea was just like, well, Naomi, when I called her, she said she was all good and we're going to the country club to celebrate. And she was just like, oh, okay, that's so great. And then she was just like, are you going to call Andre? And she was just like, yeah, but why? And she was just like, because dad's at the country club with Haley. And they, Danny was just like, I saw them earlier and we're good. And there's nothing that Haley can do to make me come out myself for this celebration. So let's go. Um, and all that. Kat doesn't go because she says she has to get some stuff done at the at for their company. So Kat stays behind. So we're at the country club and we see Naomi and Jacob and they're talking or whatever. Naomi gets the call from Chelsea. Again, she was just like, oh, we're all good. So she makes it seem like she's all good. She tells Jacob, and Jacob was just like, oh, that's great. Since she got her results, that means yours are in. Hey, what's your pat? He pulls out his phone and he's just like, what's the code so we can check? And Naomi was just like, oh, we'll check in a few. I got to go tell dad or whatever. So she goes and tells Bill, and Bill is excited. And he was just like, what about you? And she was just like, oh, I haven't gotten mine's back yet. And he was just like, well, I thought they would, y'all got it done at the same time. I thought it would have been, And she was just like, well, Hamilton comes before Hawthorne. And he was just like, yeah, I kind of wish you didn't change your last name or whatever. I was just like, Bill, shut up. Shut up, Bill. So she was just like, Chelsea's coming to celebrate. So, and he was just like, well, why don't we wait till we get your results? And she was just like, Chelsea's just so excited. She's on her way. I'm going to go check with the chef and put everything together. And Haley's just like, oh, let me, and she just walks off or whatever. So Bill wants to call Danny and Haley talks him out of it. And Naomi is back at the table with Jacob, and she's like, going through the menu and trying to figure out what to get for Chelsea's celebration. And Jacob is just like, like, hey, talk to me, like, and she was just like, oh, let me go check with the chef. So she leaves, and then she walks away or whatever. And then we see he comes to find her and he's just like, I want to be there for you. Just, let me know what I need to do. I know you're worried about it. And she was just like, I just needed a minute. I don't want to check my results here at the country club. I want to be in the safety of my home. And he was just like, I understand, that's fine. We can do that or whatever. So Chelsea and Chelsea and Danny come to the club, and Chelsea and Danny are at the club, and they're talking to Bill and Haley, and they're excited. And then Chelsea tells them, oh, Naomi let me know that her results were fine. And then Bill was just like, well, she said she didn't get him yet. So Danny was just like, well, let me go find her and check and see what's going on. So she finds Jacob and Naomi, and she's talking to them, and she's basically saying like, I might, clear this up for me, because Chelsea's saying you said you got your results and your dad is saying that you didn't. So did you get them? And Naomi is just like, well, no, I haven't checked. Da 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 da. This is that. And then Danny is just like, okay, well, whenever you're ready to check, I'll be here for you. And so she's just looking at her, and Naomi was just like, okay, so you want to, I'll go ahead and check. So Jacob gives her the phone. She checks the results. She walks a little bit away. She checks the results, and then she turns back and she says, all good. So they're all excited. So they go to the what's it called, back to the with the rest of the group, and they're all excited that they are all in the clear. Jacob gives a toast to the woman of the hour, and he's happy that their health is going to be good and everything. And then as they're toasting, we see Naomi looking not too certain, so you don't really know if the results are negative or positive. We then that's how the episode ends, but I didn't skip two stories that I completely forgot about. So we see, my bad, because I don't care about this. So we see Ashley and Grayson, and they're flirting with each other, and Derek is over there being a little stalker watching them or whatever. So Ashley walks away because she has to go do something. Derek and Grayson are on the elevator, and Derek is trying to get some information out of Grayson, and he's being tight-lipped. Initially, when I first watched this, I thought that when he asked, he was just like, "How do you know Ashley?" And Grayson was just like, "Who's that?" And he was just like, "Ashley," and I was thinking like, "Dang, that man don't even know her name." But second time I watched it, it was just like, oh, he was like kind of weary of this man asking him about Ashley. So that's why he was just like, Ashley, like, because he did call her by her name earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he call her Nurse Morgan? I don't know, whatever. But he knows who she is. Um, so they get off the elevator. Derek goes and calls Ashley's mama to meet, and he's checking with her, and then he snitches on Ashley about how she's dating somebody, and it's just like, sir, why are you being a stalker? She don't want you. Move the hell on. Like she had already moved on with somebody else like not even moved on, but she had feelings for somebody else before y'all even got engaged. So now you're upset that she's talking to another new person. You was just kissing one of your coworkers in her house. Why are you worried about her? Like, sir, you cussed her out at her job. Why do you think that she would want to be back with you? Move on, sir. So Ashley's mama comes and she berates her daughter about moving on so fast and all this. Again, you too, ma'am, your daughter is grown. She can do whatever she wants to do. Let her date other people. Like, why are you trying to hold her back from learning who she is? Like, her dating other people, like Ashley said, me dating other people is me finding out what I want. Just because I started talking to somebody doesn't mean I'm going to move in with them. Like, she's just dating. Like, why are you tripping right now? Like, ma'am, go and deal with Owen. Go be with Owen. Why are you worried about what I'm? We have some fun. And whatever mistakes I make, let that be my mistakes. Child. So go girl, like this is me. Let me learn for myself. So then we also saw Ted and Shanice were making out in his office, and they was going hot and heavy. They were taking off each other's clothes, and he gets a phone call which stops them, and he was just like, "This isn't right." She was just like, "You're right. This isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this." Da 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 da. And he was just like, "No, no, 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 no. I do want to do this, but I need to do this right. Like I need to take you out on a date." So he asked her on a date. She says yes. He then asked her again to be, because he was just like, the first time I asked you, it was just we weren't dressed and I need to do it properly. So he asked her again. She says yes. She tells Ashley about what happened and that they're going on a date, and they're all excited about that. So then we see Andre with Ted at Orphe Jeans, because that was who had called him. And Andre is talking about how he doesn't feel right leaving Danny because of what's going on and her waiting on the results for her kids. But Danny is telling him that, just live life. Like she wants him to, not stop living just because of what's going on. And so Ted thanks him for the advice that he gave him, and how he talked with Carlton, and he's okay. He's like, he's okay with Nicole moving on, and it's just like, sir, it doesn't matter. She's gonna move on regardless. Okay. And he's like, yeah, I'm moving on too. I'm going on a date, and he tells him it's with Shanice. So that's how that is how the that was episode 11. I'm sorry, because again, the episode ends with Jacob giving the toast and Naomi looking uncomfortable. But yeah, it was a good episode. It wasn't not a lot happened, but a lot happened. No, 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 not a lot happened in this episode, but it was still a good episode. So far, like since the second season, a lot of the episodes have been really, really good. There's like few episodes here and there that were just like meh, but for the most part, the episodes have been good. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next one.